blew and beat upon that house.
So the ignorant house is getting beat upon. The poor house is getting beat upon. The middle class house is getting beat upon. The rich house is getting beat upon. But how many has built the house? See, can I make it plain? You accept rather than expect. And it what?
And it failed not.
Come on.
For it was founded.
So what in this month principles are you going to put in? Because every time you try to put in the principle, Satan starts to fight you. Ask me why. Why? Because you're gaining your lost ground back. See, you're looking at the end result and rather than finishing the process. If you finish the processes, you'll get to the end result. The problem is you see somebody else at the end and you think you need to be at the end. You ain't at the end yet. Tell me, so preacher, I don't agree with that. Caleb saw the promised land at 20 and didn't get there to 75. And you know what he told? Lord, come on, hold that down. You know what he told Joshua? He said, I well preserve myself, and I have trained young, strong men with me. And I know the Canaanites are sitting on the hill. I'm 75, and I know I can't whoop them, but I got an army with me. Because God told me wherever my feet go, that was my land. See, y'all don't have that kind of faith. Y'all don't have that kind of faith. Y'all ain't walking around on nothing praying for it. But now you're going to have to get your credit right, because, you know, we can't give you something you can't pay for it now. Am I making sense? So where's your house built? Come on, David. You went back to Obed-Edom's house. You went wrong the first time. Then you had to go back and find out how God wanted you to take. So you got to ask questions in order to find out how to position yourself. Come on, read the next one, because then I got to give you this and we go.
Founded upon a rock.
Okay, come on.
And everyone that heareth these sayings of mine and doeth them not.
Oh, Lord. I heard God say I need to pray and have devotion. But when I don't want to do nothing, I sure take the blessing. But I don't want the responsibility. I don't want to witness and help nobody. I don't want to be no light. I just want mine. He said, because if the church have lost its flavor and lost its season, how can you help the world? And one thing that we've done in churches is lock people out who need church. But because they're not us, you just realize, you don't even realize you just been in here. If you've been in here 30 years, you've been in here 3 hours, because one day is as 1,000 years with the Lord. But you don't want nobody else to come in. But you got to realize when you came in, you wasn't perfect and you wasn't right. The church is an institution for the broken and the healed. And then those that are healed should help those who are trying to heal. But we get so bougie in the church that we don't want you in the church if you don't look like us, don't talk like us, don't walk like us, and don't have money like us. But you didn't come in here like that. And even if you did, you ain't spiritual. The Bible says ye that are spiritual, which is segregated from the tradition and the religious people. Restore such a way. Churches ain't open the doors and baptizing people no more. I spent 6 hours yesterday cleaning out a baptismal pool. People ain't interested in baptism. We so technology savvy now, I guess we just sprinkle water on us and we just going to heaven. And God gonna take me because I'm gonna make it my own way. You didn't put your own blood on it, so it can't be your own way. Come on, let's talk about what happened when we don't want to follow his instructions. Because I'm Deacon Mighty Mike. I'm Deacon Sugarfoot. I'm Deacon Tenderfoot. I'm Bishop Blueberry. I'm Deacon Sexy Chocolate. So whatever I want going, I want it to go that way. But this is what the Bible says. Come on. See, this is my program. Like I say, until you cut my internet off, as long as it's in my name, God help you if you cut it off. We won't have a problem. You're going to make my Peter spirit come out. Come on.
And everyone that heareth these sayings of mine.
And what?
Everyone.
If you go back to the Bible, he says, choose this day blessings or curses. You got a choice to make. But your biggest fight is not what's on the outside of you. Your biggest fight is what's going on inside of you. So it says, and he uses the same term. He says, come on, and everyone that heareth. So that means everybody that heareth this. Come on.
And doeth them not
I got a choice.
shall be likened unto a foolish man,
Who wants to be? Come on.
which built his house upon the sand.
How many of us are stuck in titles with no substance? I have a title, but I don't have any substance. Come on.
And the rain descended.
And here's the point. The Bible says that the Lord reigns on the just and the unjust. Okay, so look at this. The people who built their house upon a rock get the same storms that the people who built their house upon a... So if you continue to build your house upon your emotions and your past, come on, let's read.
And the rain descended.
It's same rain.
And the floods came. The winds blew.
So we got to quit crying, oh me, oh my, I think. Because somebody on the other side is getting rained on. Come on.
And beat upon that house, and it fell.
How many times do you keep starting over? How many times? I'm going to say this and we're going to stand. Here is what I want to teach us in the month of July. We're going to have to listen to learn. If we reject listening, we reject learning. How many times have you tuned out people who are trying to tell you how to do something or not to do something because of what it will cause and how it will affect you? Then you get mad at the person and say, you should have told me. And the person looks at you and say, I tried to, but you didn't want to listen. The whole month of July, I want to try to teach us the difference. Why am I still using David? Simple. David didn't even slow down until he learned to listen to Naaman. You can change the course of your direction, and if God allows you to see 2021 come in, it should never be like 2020. There were so many people talked about, this 2020, redemption. I said, redemption is simple. For you to get something, somebody gonna have to lose something. And if you have something, if you don't figure out how to keep it, somebody gonna get it. There's so many people going into foreclosure. There's so many people getting shot in the wrong place. There's so many people acting out in violence. This is supposed to be redemption. So somebody has to gain and somebody has to lose or sell. That's redemption. Ask me why. There's no more land on earth, and most of the land is owned by somebody. So for you to get land, you're going to have to purchase it from somebody. Am I correct? Unless somebody just give it to you, and if they are, put my name on there too. Okay. But am I making sense? So you're either going to have to be prepared to acquire something or defend that you don't lose something. And where are we at right now? People that are working are losing their job, being furloughed. People, hours are getting cut now. People are working from home. Now they laying off people working from home because everybody's trying to save theirs. I'm going to ask you, what can you build and what can you establish in this pandemic that when the winds change, if you can make it now, you can make it later. But if you don't plant now, there will be nothing to stabilize later. What is it that you can do? What is it that you can create? Didn't I just tell your wife in the back?
Yes, sir.
I told her how many years ago? 30 years ago. I said, you need to open up an alteration shop. She had the gift in her family of whatever, or sewing, or being a seamstress or whatever. Blew me off. Somebody down here today to pick up 14 masks plus. And what is she doing? Sewing masks. I said you could have hired somebody that was a little bit older and find out what their gifts are, hemming or putting cuffs in back when men were wearing cuffs. Then you can find somebody who can taper up real good. I said you could have 2 or 3 people working for you, one to open, one midday, and one to close, and you can still sit at the house. Now you back with the sewing machine. See, if you think a little bit, you can build a lot. God bless you. May we stand. Tell somebody, if you think a little bit, you can build a lot. Many people are not teaching us to think. Well, you give them the power. And several people have asked me, said, well, you know, Pastor, why don't you just tell us? I said, I can teach you, but if I tell you, when do I stop telling you? I'm trying to turn on your mind. And when your mind gets on, now there you will find out how gifted and talented you are. If you have to wait for me to tell you, then you have given your power over to me. I don't want your power. I want you to be blessed. You see what I'm saying? Because when God spoke, and this is what we forget in the church, God used the vessel to bless the people. Now, people, that's the vessel, use the people to bless themselves. You see what I'm saying? And if the people are not blessed, then the house can't be blessed. And we're not going to get there always on a 40-hour job. Sometimes we have to work 40 for somebody else and 16 for ourselves and build our way out of something. Am I making sense? Because then when they furlough you and let you go and you're at my age in your 50s, ain't too many people trying to call you for no application. They see you coming up with them gray whiskers, offer in your hand. They want you to sign a paper. You're like, Anybody ever had that? You ever had that? Your knee just all of a sudden ain't what it was yesterday? You could bend your ankle last night, but something got in your ankle today. Them Arthur boys mean. And rough. You got to get up and warm up to get moving. I understand when people say, well, you know, it's a good day. I'm like, well, you know, when you're young and energetic, you think every day a good day. You let them Arthur brothers show up, it ain't good at all. Did I help you today? So we're going to try to learn in July. We have to listen to learn. Amen? Amen.